This is the Darling of the Forgotten State, unofficial OTS member, Noah Vale, and you're tuned in to the OTS Project.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OTS Project, episode 19, almost 20. Theo,
Almost.
my boy, what's
We're so
going on?
close.
Where?
Oh shit. Nothing much. I've been watching a good bit more shit. I feel like this week than last week at least. They got the new Tron movie coming out later this year, so I've been kind of rewatching a bunch of Tron stuff to kind of get myself there and ready for it. So I'm very excited for that.
Have you seen like the first two movies?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean I just watched them like this week.
Oh, yeah,
I mean
right.
I
That's
saw
what
I saw Legacy when it came out when I was a kid, but like I never saw
Same.
the original one. So I kind of rewatched both of those. They're not bad. I enjoyed
yeah,
it.
Tron. I'm not like a huge Tron guy. I mean, I like it. I don't dislike it, but it's not like a huge thing. I'll probably go see that movie with you though. But it was definitely something my dad really enjoyed. Because obviously it was a video game. The movie's based off a video game, but they obviously made it an actual video game even back then, you know?
Right.
So my dad loved playing, I guess, the arcade cabinet version of the game when he was a kid. I would imagine your dad was probably included in that as well.
Probably.
Yeah, he loved playing the arcade version of the game. He loved the first movie. So I do remember when Legacy came out, me and Grace went with him to go see it and stuff. So yeah, it's not something I'm huge into, but it was definitely something my dad loved. But I feel like that's just par for the course. Like, it's definitely an older thing compared to now. There's probably not too many people our age or younger that are huge Tron fans.
Right.
But hopefully that changes with this movie, though. I mean, obviously they have the coaster at Magic Kingdom as well as Shanghai Disney and whatnot. So they definitely have some investment in the IP. They're not letting it die. So hopefully this new movie will regenerate some interest in that. But yeah, anything else you've been watching, playing?
Let's
doing?
see. What else have I been watching? I mean, obviously, last few episodes of Andor, but we'll get into that when we get further into the episode. I've also been watching, or I've started the Dollars trilogy, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like the three Clint Eastwood like spaghetti western movies, like Good, Bad, and Ugly and stuff like that. So I've started that. That was also pretty decent, I'd say. I enjoyed that. I enjoy myself some spaghetti western stuff, so I was into it.
Cool. I on my end, I finished GTA 5. I finished story mode. I don't want to say I finished it because I haven't done the Strangers and Freaks stuff or whatnot, but I finished the main story. I finished it. I was tempted. So I had for Mother's Day we had brunch with my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, and my cousin Logan, who is obviously a big gamer and whatnot. So I was talking to him about it, and I don't know if you also had the same thought, because I said it to Logan, and he was like, how could you do that? And then when he thought about it, he goes, no, actually, now that you say that, it does make a lot of sense. The first time that you played through the game, and I feel like this is something you and I probably have talked about before, the first time you played through the game, when Devin Weston gives you the option, the kill Michael, kill Trevor, or Death Wish, when you first played the game, did you think option C was kill Franklin?
No.
You didn't think that was that? That's what I thought the first time I played the game. You're setting
like
yourself up. Like, it's saying...
I didn't think that was going to happen.
I mean, I understand it probably would have said kill Franklin, but I took it from in the universe, if I was clicking on Death Wish as Franklin, it's basically signing yourself up for death. So the first time I played it, I thought it meant kill Franklin. So I was like, oh, one of these three have to go no matter what. So I killed Trevor because Trevor is the character that is probably the most entertaining, but is the less, like, I just don't care about him as much as Michael or Franklin. This time playing through, so the first time I played it, I killed Trevor, and any other time since then, I've done option C. Obviously, that's the canon ending, that's the good ending. I was tempted this time to kill Michael because I had never done it, and I ended up choosing option C again. But I was really tempted to kill Michael because I had never done it. But yeah, so I finished the story of GTA 5. I have started from last night. I started playing The Last of Us Part 2, like I said I was gonna do. But what was cool was I didn't realize, so I had played it, a little bit of it, when it came out. I obviously pre-ordered it and played a little bit of it, and I just never finished it. I must have done that on the PS5, and I didn't realize it. I thought I did it on the PS4, because when I downloaded the game, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start the game. It had my last save, so I did not have to restart the whole game. And luckily, I felt like it was okay for me to continue on without restarting because I've been watching the show. And weirdly enough, where I last saved is where the last episode actually ended off. It was so crazy. Like I started playing and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like I was playing the last episode that I had just watched, so I was like, "Perfect lineup, perfect timing." So
Yeah.
I have started playing through The Last of Us Part 2, or at least continuing playing through it. So that's what I've been doing game wise, and then watch wise. Obviously, again, Andor. I've been watching The Last of Us, but in surprising news that came out of left field, I have actually been slowly rewatching the Clone Wars. Because
there you go.
Our boy Elias AK-47 Roman has gotten back into it. He, for those that don't know, he hadn't seen Star Wars a couple years ago. I finally got him to sit down and watch all the movies, and then he started watching Clone Wars. He's seen some of the other shows. He saw, I think, season 1 and 2 of Mando. He watched Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, but he hasn't seen all of the Disney Plus shows. And so he started watching Clone Wars, and he got to like season 3, and then he fell off. And he randomly messaged me like 2 or 3 days ago. It was like, I'm gonna get back on it because I guess his girlfriend had never seen the movies, so they plan on watching the movies. And I guess in general they haven't started watching it, but I guess is just kind of in a Star Wars kick with getting ready to watch the movies. So he picked Clone Wars back up, and I was like, you know what, F it, bro, I'll watch it with you. So every day the past couple days he's been sending me like what he's been watching, and I've just been kind of following along and catching up. So we are at the Umbara arc with fucking Pong Krell.
Okay.
Horrible.
It's a good arc.
Horrible. I mean, it's a good arc, but absolutely horrible. I can't stand Pong Krell. That's my number one hate. Like, that's my number one op. And Elias has jumped on the train. Before, I didn't even say anything to him. He just messaged me and was like, yo, fuck this guy, bro. This guy fucking sucks.
Honestly, anybody that's not on that train, I can't trust you. Like, it's like a must.
So I think I got like an episode ahead of him, and I kind of paused it last night. But I've gotten to the part where they realize that they're killing each other. Right. So I'm waiting for Elias to figure that out. Because again, he's already like, "Yo, fuck this guy," da-da-da. And I basically told him like, "Oh, just wait, buddy." Like he was saying, "Fuck this guy" from the first episode of the arc. So I was like, "Oh yeah, just wait, brother. It's just gonna get worse. You're gonna hate this guy." So yeah, I've been rewatching Clone Wars. So, and I told him too. Because again, they plan on watching the movie, or he plans on showing her the movies soon. I told him, I was like, well, before you get to the last season, make sure you watch Revenge of the Sith first. Because I was like, he's already seen it, but I was like, it's been a while. So I was like, not to spoil anything for him, but I was like, it kind of runs concurrently. So I was like, you should probably make sure you watch that movie so that you kind of have a refresher in your head when you do watch season 7. So very excited for him to finish that. And then he does plan on going into Bad Batch and then Rebels as well.
Right.
So
that's good.
I might be rewatching everything. So very cool. But yeah, that's basically what I've done this week. Finished GTA, continued Last of Us Part 2, and I've been rewatching The Clone Wars.
There you go.
Yes, sir. So we got a good amount of news this week. We got a few trailers and bits and bobs and whatnot. But I do want to start off. There was 2 things that I saw this week that were kind of sad. So we will kind of start off on a depressing note. So first one, Sabu, legend, absolute legend, man. Unfortunately has passed away this past week. So we obviously send condolences to any of his family and his friends that are dealing with that and whatnot. I don't know how much you're educated on Sabu, but man,
I mean, I never really watched a lot of like OG ECW or anything like that. I know he was very big in that. I know even like recently he's been doing a lot of crazy stuff. I've been seeing it on Twitter, like him going through like barbed wire ropes into more barbed wire and shit.
Yeah.
Even in his like late age and whatnot. So it's like I don't know too much about him, but I mean obviously there's a good amount of respect there still because of just how much of his body he's willing to put on the line in pretty much every decade in the past like 30 years or so.
Right.
So definitely a lot of respect there. I know that he was a very big favorite for a lot of people. So
yeah,
I know that he's definitely going to be missed by pretty much the entire wrestling community.
So yeah, I obviously have like my Mount Rushmore and my favorites and whatnot, but I also have like my underrated favorites, and he's probably on that list. Like he was in ECW, he had a small stint in WCW, and then he was in WWE with the WWE ECW stuff. That, to some people, this might be horrible, but that to me is where I know Sabu from, is the WWE, ECW stuff. I was technically alive when ECW was still going, but I was like 2 years old, so obviously I was not watching original ECW. So my version of ECW is the kind of what they would say shitty WWE version. But that's what I grew up with. But when they did that, obviously they did bring back a lot of the original ECW guys, and Sabu was one of them.
Right.
So, and he was also in TNA for a little bit as well, so I saw a little bit of him in TNA as a kid, but mainly where I saw him was probably WWE, ECW. Yeah, dude, absolute legend. That man not only put his body on the line, but he was very innovative. I don't know if you've seen it, but one of his most like famous spots that he always did was he would set a chair in the ring, and he would run the ropes and jump on the chair onto the ropes on the outside and dive out of the ring.
Right. Yeah.
That's like his spot. Like he did that every match. That, and he would always do a leg drop with a chair under. Like he would throw a chair underneath him at the last second.
Top rope or something like that, and he like put the chair under his leg. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yes,
that's dope.
So he's very innovative in what he was doing. For you though, I would suggest this might be crazy to some people. I would suggest for you, there was a small time where Sabu, I'm not sure if he was technically a part of Raw or if he was just visiting Raw, but there is a short program where him and John Cena like have a feud that ended. I think they may have had a match on Raw, but they had like one pay-per-view match at like, I don't even remember. It was like at Backlash or something like that. They had a pay-per-view match. I would suggest you watch that match because that match is fire, and it would be more probably what's the word? Like it would be more familiar, I guess, to you because John Cena's in it,
Right.
And so yeah, I would suggest you check that out. I'll have to figure out what the actual thing is, and I'll send it to you. But that match is great. But in general, he was just a great wrestler. What you were talking about, him going through barbed wire and stuff recently, that was actually his last match that he had about a month ago.
Right.
So it's very sad, but I'm happy that at least he did get to have a last match, before he passed on, or at least on his own terms. So yeah, just incredible wrestler, great stuff. I've seen a lot of great messages, but what stuck out to me is I've seen a lot of female wrestlers come out and say that he was very protective over them and very, like, he always looked out for a lot of, I guess, female wrestlers that were in the locker room, and if there was some shady promoter on the indies that was trying to pull some shit with the women or trying, get weird with the women, I guess Sabu was one that would always stick up for them and whatnot, so that's really cool, and tons of respect.
I love that for sure. I think we don't really see enough of that with a lot of people, and I think that's definitely
especially like
really, that boosts so much credit to your name. I feel like right there doing that kind of stuff.
Especially like I don't want to just kind of categorize everybody, but a lot of older guys, especially a lot of older guys that are from ECW that are kind of wild and out there, probably are not doing the same thing. They're probably more a part of the problem than helpful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the fact that he looked after them, I know like Rob Van Dam is probably someone that is similar in that sense, where he seems like he's just kind of a good dude, a chill dude. So yeah, very sad. Rest in peace to Sabu, a legend. I'm gonna get Theo to watch some matches so he can really get up on who Sabu was, because that guy was fucking awesome. As well as I did see yesterday that Jim Ross has announced that he has colon cancer. Not fun and very, very scary. So I also we send well wishes to him and those around him and his friends and whatnot. I think he did say he already has the surgery scheduled for next week or something like that. So yeah, this is something that kind of hits home because my mother obviously had colon cancer, and we had to deal with that and whatnot back in like 2013 or something like that, 2012, 2013. So I know how much of a devil it could be and how painful it could be. Even like, no, I don't want to say that. I'll just say it's not great. Even after the fact, it's bad. Even after you have surgery, it's not great. So yeah, well wishes to JR. Obviously, another legend. The voice of many a childhoods for sure. So yeah, send us some love and some prayers to JR as well. Hoping he kicks this cancer in the ass and can get back to being good old JR.
Yeah.
So
we need him back to his good state.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we got good amount of stuff here. We'll dive into the trailers in a second, but some actual news. I did see there was some sort of Disney event that it was like a Disney event, but it seemed like it was kind of a Disney Plus event, I guess, where they announced that Jessica Jones will officially be in season 2 of Daredevil: Born Again. Some people may kill me for this one. This may be the one thing about Daredevil that I could care less about. I tried back in the day. I tried to watch the Jessica Jones show that was on Netflix, and I could not get behind it. I did not like the character. I did not like the storyline. I didn't like anything about it. So maybe I need to just give it another try or something like that. But her coming into Daredevil, it's not something that's surprising to me. People have talked about that for forever, as well as, again, people, kind of want Luke Cage and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not super excited for this. I'm not mad about it or anything like that. And I'm happy for the people that are very big fans of Jessica Jones, that she's finally coming back and whatnot. But me personally, I do not care for this character. I thought she was kind of just boring and more so annoying. So I am not too hyped on this, and I don't think Theo knows really anything about this character at all. So
I've not seen the show.
Right.
I haven't seen the one show where they all like team up and whatnot. I haven't seen
The
any of it,
Defenders.
so I have no idea.
Yeah, but just small news. As well as I did see that they're officially making a Ted animated series, so that's very fun. They obviously have the live action show that they've been doing on Peacock, or that they did on Peacock with season 1. I believe season 2 is filming. You and I both loved that. We thought it was fun and a good show, and we obviously love the movies. We quote those movies every once in a while. They're great movies. So this I'm excited for. Seth MacFarlane, obviously, he really thrives in animation, as we know, between American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and Family Guy, his biggest one. That's been going on for years and years and years. So just getting a Ted animated series by that guy who's created Family Guy, I believe, it's just going to cook. It's just going to be great. It's going to be fun. I know they said Amanda Seyfried is coming back. I think Mark Wahlberg is coming back. So it's clearly after Ted 2, and it's not when he's a kid. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be very fun. And a small thing I noticed is kind of random. It's not news. It's more discussion. We did a whole episode breaking down the GTA 6 trailer. I'm wearing my Out the Shadows Project GTA shirt that I forgot I had. But I saw someone talk about this. In one of the shots, you could see, I think it's a shot in a gas station with Jason when he's like robbing them or something like that. In the background, you can see the DVD bin. There's a $5 DVD bin. And Meltdown is one of the DVDs that's in the bin, which is obviously, for those that don't know, is the movie that Michael in GTA 5 helped produce. So just a small little Easter egg. It's not breaking news or anything. I just thought that was fun and a cool little Easter egg that the movie Michael produced is on in GTA 6 somewhere. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we got 3 trailers this week. We're gonna end our discussion with the Andor discussion, but yeah, we got 3 trailers this week. So we have a Peacemaker trailer, an Ironheart trailer, and a Superman trailer. The Peacemaker trailer, there wasn't too much that was going crazy, but I will say, as I said last episode, my new celebrity crush Isabella Merced, she pops up in the trailer as Hawkgirl, with a fun little scene between her and was it Guy Gardner or whatever, Nathan Fillion's character, I believe, and whatnot, where they're interviewing Peacemaker to join the Justice Society, and clearly they just do not want to be there. So that was the first thing that popped my eyes up. I was like, oh shit, it's Hawkgirl, it's Isabella Merced, so that's cool. I'm assuming that's the only scene that they're gonna have in the show, but
Right.
nonetheless, really cool that she and Nathan Fillion are in the show for what seemed to be a little cameo. That's really cool. Yeah, the rest of the trailer seems like normal Peacemaker fare. However, at the end, you see Peacemaker walk through a door. Well, he's in a room that has a bunch of doors, and he walks through a certain door. He's in an office, and all of a sudden, another version of Peacemaker pops out from behind him, and basically says, like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I have a theory on this, but before I give my theory, Theo, do you have anything you want to add to our Peacemaker talk?
I did not see the trailer,
Oh,
so I don't know.
all right.
I completely missed that, but off of this kind of like new Justice League that they're kind of setting up over here with Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and stuff like that, I would definitely love to see Peacemaker make some sort of like tidbit reference to the old Justice League that did show up at the end of his first season and whatnot. I think that'd be a pretty funny joke or something like that. I'd like to see something built off that.
So, my theory, obviously this is a new universe that they're building up here. My theory is, even though you haven't seen the show, my theory is, so he walks through this door. There's a room full of doors, and then he walks through this door, and he's like in an office kind of looking around, and then you see from behind him another version of Peacemaker is there and puts a gun to his head. It basically says, like, who the fuck are you? And he has a very different costume. He has, like, gold accents on his costume and stuff. My theory, and I've also seen a lot of people talking about this, that the Peacemaker we see, the different Peacemaker that we see, that is the DCU's version of Peacemaker. And I fully believe, and this is going to be hilarious too if they do it, I fully believe that our Peacemaker, the DCEU Peacemaker, the old Peacemaker, is going to kill this Peacemaker and take his spot in the DCU. That's
Probably.
wholeheartedly what's going to happen here.
It would just make the most sense to get him transferred over to this new universe that they're making.
Right. And I don't know how many of his friends may come over or whatever, but in general, yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen. I've seen other people talking about it. So that seems to be the big thing, is that somehow whatever that room of doors was, it was, I believe it's in his dad's, like, not house, but, like, his dad's, like, whatever it is, you know, his
Right.
his place, his warehouse or whatever. So yeah, he walks through that door and clearly walks into the DCU, and yeah, I think he's definitely going to kill that Peacemaker and take his spot in this universe. And that's, like you said, the easiest way to kind of just transfer kind of, in a way, the canon over into this universe. So yeah, but overall, good trailer, fun trailer. It seems like everybody's back, all the characters from the first season. It seems like Amelia Harcourt or whatever, the blonde chick, James Gunn's wife, she seems like she has a bigger role in this season. It seemed like she was dealing with some mental health issues and whatnot in the trailer. So yeah, I can't talk too much now because Theo hasn't seen it, so you're gonna have to watch it after. But yeah, in general, I'm excited. It comes out in August. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, we also got I'll keep it on theme. We got a Superman trailer. We got a new Superman trailer. Probably the last actual trailer because the movie comes out in like 2 months. It comes out in June or July.
Let me look it up real quick.
Okay. So yeah, Superman trailer. I watched it, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember too much about it. Maybe because I only watched it once and very quickly. But it seems like it's kind of more of the same. But I will say they did kind of reveal the villains more than anything.
Yeah, it's July.
Okay, July. So we got about 2 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of revealed. Obviously, we know Lex Luthor is in the movie, and he's the main villain. But in this trailer, they reveal, I think it's Ultraman or something like that. There was some chick with like razors or whatever. I don't remember her name. There was another guy that was with them, and then we see the giant kaiju that I think Lex Luthor kind of sent into the city. So this definitely focused on kind of showcasing the villains, and more so probably the Glup Shido villains that are going to get kind of killed off, or some variation of knocked the fuck off the screen, never talked about again. But I will say the Ultraman dude with the mask, from what I understand in the comics, that is just a copy of Superman.
Yes.
Like he's just an evil version
it's
of
pretty
Superman.
much evil Superman. Yeah.
Right. Kind of similar to
they
the
have
boys.
their own like universe and stuff like that. And it's like the whole like Justice Syndicate, and they're pretty much like all evil and stuff like that. Kind of similar to like an Injustice universe thing where they like pretty much attempt to like take over the world to just prevent crimes from happening, but they're still taking over the world. So it's like
right.
still not great.
So that'll be interesting to see. You know, I guess Superman versus Superman, and whatnot. I kind of took it as a similar to kind of the boys with Homelander and Black Noir, even though they never really dove into it. I know in the comics, Black Noir is just like a copy of Homelander and whatnot that they created for whatever, because they were scared that Homelander might do something stupid, which he constantly does or whatever. But so yeah, I don't remember. You might be able to give more context on the show because I really am kind of blanking, other than a few couple things. Again, did see the Justice Society. We saw Hawkgirl a couple times. We saw Guy Gardner a couple times. We saw I'm forgetting his name, the dude with the mask. I'm blanking on his name.
Which dude in the mask? There was a good few dudes in the mask. Are you talking about Mr. Terrific?
Yes, that's his name.
Yeah.
So we saw him a couple times. We saw Metamorpho in a prison cell or some sort of prison cell with Superman. So that'll be interesting. We did see the villains, I guess, showing up to kind of kill the robots. There was like a robot that gets sliced in half, and whatnot. But yeah, I'll let you speak on it. This is more your
Crypto
territory.
dog walks all of them in
Mhm.
in a
Oh yeah.
very pun-like fashion.
Hell yeah.
From what I've researched a little bit, this new Justice League that they're forming with Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, and all that stuff is not like a more so like legitimate Justice League, but more so like a company-based Justice League. So it is a little bit more
Right.
like The Voice because it is like ran by a company and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they like play that with Superman, who obviously wouldn't want to join some sort of like corporate funded back.
I believe they're
League.
called the Justice Society or something like that. They're not called the Justice
Maybe?
League.
I don't
There's
know.
a
I'd have
different
to look into
name.
that.
There's a different name. They're not called the Justice League. But I will say again, you didn't see the trailer for Peacemaker, but you are 100% correct because again, I am forgetting his name. The character was in Wonder Woman 82, played by Pedro Pascal. I believe his name is Max or something like that. He's like a billionaire rich guy. But he is
Max
in the
Lord. Yeah.
Max Lord is in the trailer for Peacemaker season 2. He's played by Sean Gunn. So it's kind of funny. Rocket Raccoon and Max Lord are played by the same guy. But yeah, so you are right. Obviously, Max Lord, I believe, is kind of taking over, or has his company, and that's where the Justice Society of America, I believe, is their name, and that's Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl. I'm not sure if Mr. Terrific is officially a part of it, but yeah. So that's kind of what it is.
Hold on, wait. A billionaire and CEO of Lord Tech, Maxwell Lord, is confirmed to be the founder of the Justice Gang, a team of heroes debuting in the upcoming DC movie. So apparently,
Okay.
they're called the Justice Gang.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've
how
seen
I feel about
everybody.
that. That's a crap
I've seen
name.
everybody refer to that group as the JSA.
Well, the JSA is something a little bit different. That's like completely like different.
I don't know. Again, you're more of the Superman guy than me, so I don't really. I'm just here.
JSA
I'm
is
just
not even
kind of-
really Superman related, but like
Okay.
it's just completely different.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, I've seen everybody refer to that group as the JSA. So whatever that is probably what they more so are.
Apparently they're wrong because apparently it's the Justice Gang.
I don't know. But anything else you want to add from the trailer? Because again, you probably remember more of it.
I mean, you kind of said it already. It's a lot more of the same stuff that we've kind of seen already, with a few tidbits, like new additions here and there, stuff like that to make it different. Which I do kind of like that as like new trailers and stuff like that, showing basically a lot of the same stuff, but maybe a little new tidbits here and there to not like spoil a lot of the stuff in movies, which I do not like that a lot of certain trailers tend to do nowadays. So I think going with that route with the trailer was a good idea because it kind of leaves a lot of questions there about both the plot and what's going to happen to a lot of the characters and whatnot. But yeah,
Right.
I'm still very excited as I was pretty much the entire time. I'm very excited to see this movie. Obviously, he's my favorite superhero, so I'll be there for sure.
Hell yeah, we'll be there for sure.
We'll be there.
Super
I'll be there
excited.
multiple times probably.
Yeah. And yeah, to kind of wrap up our trailers, we got an Ironheart trailer now. Again, Theo, I don't know if you saw this trailer or not.
I saw the trailer, but I didn't see it with any volume on because I was at work and I was just like,
Oh, okay. So, hold up.
So I've seen it. I haven't heard it, but I've seen it.
You visually have seen it, but you have not.
I visually saw it. I
Heard-
saw it how a deaf person
Okay.
would watch the trailer.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I more so. It's not even about the trailer. I feel like I've seen people talk about this, and I agree. Seems like they're kind of setting this up for failure. I don't know if they just don't care about it, or if they're focused mainly on Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four because they're releasing so soon. But this show comes out in about a month, or it comes out like 2 weeks or something like that. Very quick, very soon. And this is the first, not just trailer, but first piece of any promotional content we've seen for this show. So definitely seems like they don't care about it in some sense, which is very disappointing because I thought Ironheart was a fun character in Wakanda Forever. I thought she was cool. Anthony Ramos playing the Hood. That's somebody that we like from Hamilton and In the Heights and stuff like that. Alden Ehrenreich, who played Han Solo, is in there. I believe he's supposed to be playing Obadiah Stane's son from the original Iron Man.
Okay.
So, like,
okay.
it seems like between the things we know, it seems like they're kind of cooking here, but they don't care to kind of promote it, which is sad. So, again, it's something, and pretty much anything Marvel or Star Wars or DC that comes out, you and me are going to watch, whether it's a show or a movie. So we'll be there. We'll be watching it every week along with others, but it seems like they definitely are not promoting it, and that it scares me a little bit because I don't want people to not see this or go, oh, it's a flop because the streaming numbers come out and it's low, when in reality it's not the show's fault, it's Marvel Studios' fault.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on there, but it's definitely concerning, but I will definitely be there anyways to watch it because I definitely am intrigued. The trailer, nothing too crazy. We see shots of Anthony Ramos as the Hood. We see shots of Riri Williams as Ironheart and whatnot. I think, just in general, it kind of because I have to explain it to you a little bit because you didn't hear it, but basically they kind of quickly touch on that Riri went to Wakanda. She didn't get to keep the suit because Shuri kind of said you can't leave the suit, or you can't leave with the suit. So it seems like she's back home, kind of figuring out what her next step is and whatnot. And it seems like she runs into Anthony Ramos' character, who kind of offers her, hey, you have some, a great mind, I guess, and whatnot. So why not use it for something? And basically, he's trying to get her into doing some crime, into some evil things, which I think she may go on a job with him, and when it probably realizes at the end this is not for her or it's not right. I don't know. There's not too much here. It just kind of introduces the characters a little bit. Again, Alden Ehrenreich's character, they don't explain, like me saying he's Obadiah Stane's son. They don't explain that in the trailer. He's only in the trailer for like one or two shots very quickly.
Right.
Me saying that is just stuff I've seen rumored for a while. Basically, when he got cast in the show like 2 or 3 years ago, is when people started talking about him being Obadiah Stane's son, which I think is cool if that's the case. And there's definitely some story options and some interesting story beats that they can go down the path with that being his character. The big rumor here, though, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it a lot, is that we may finally be seeing the debut of Mephisto in this show. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't believe that. Look, they've been saying this same rumor for like 8 years now. They've been, I think, saying this since maybe like Doctor Strange or some shit like that. Like they could say that about any. They could say that about the fucking Howard the Duck TV show. Like they could just put it anywhere. Like it's
here's the thing.
I don't care for these rumors. When it happens, it happens. I really don't care that much about Mephisto to keep trying to attach this thing to every single possible Marvel project they put out. I don't care anymore. I haven't cared in years.
My only saving grace for this possibly being true is that the Hood deals with magic, deals with kind of some dark sorcery, and so that's where I could see it coming into play. I don't think Mephisto is going to show up and try and rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that case.
Right, exactly.
I think it's going to be the case of the Hood is working for Mephisto, and I think that'll be revealed in one of the episodes or at the end of one of the episodes. So that's where it is. I don't think he's the overarching villain who's going to show up and have a big CG battle with Riri. I don't think it's that. I think it's more almost like a Kingpin situation or something like that, where it's like he's in the show, but he's going to be in, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, pulling the strings from behind, kind of controlling the Hood, and that's it. More so just to introduce him, to set him up to do something bigger later. So I think it is true. I think he is, and they've been playing coy about it. So yeah, that's kind of that for the Ironheart trailer. I'm excited. It looks good.
I do want
Good.
to kind of mention, or maybe like piggyback off what you said earlier. I think this show is just not. I think really what the problem is that this show is in a very like not great position, in where like it's essentially coming out between Thunderbolts, which is an incredibly big project, pretty much, or at this point it's already confirmed, the new Avengers movie, right, which is a very big project on Marvel's end, and then the new Fantastic Four movie,
right,
which is
even
another
bigger,
big project, even bigger
right,
project on Marvel's end, which both of those are then connecting to Doomsday, which is going to be an even bigger project on Marvel's
right,
part. So where this really kind of fits in is just not in a very decent spot. I probably would have waited maybe like a couple months after Fantastic Four to kind of get the show out there, just to kind of give us like a little bit of something.
They should have, it should have been, I don't want to cut you off, but it should have been like I don't know, maybe they already have something that I'm not thinking about, but should have been the kind of like fall release.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Something,
everybody,
around then, give us something in between Fantastic Four and Doomsday.
Right, and it's a good, you can never go wrong with like a release around fall, because it's like, you have the easiest promotion in the sense of you literally could be like, home for the holidays? Watch Ironheart on Disney Plus.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But again, I don't know. Maybe I'm blanking. Maybe there's something that's already in that kind of spot for the year that I am not thinking about. But if not, I definitely would have kind of, like you said, moved it away from these two giant movies that are coming out within like 3 months of each other. So yeah, I agree with you. It seems like they're not caring because they're just more focusing their efforts on, well, we got to promote this literal new Avengers movie that we just changed the name to. So now we got to promote the hell out of that. But then also, once we literally finish that, we have to start promoting, the return of our original four to their home and whatnot. So I agree with you. If there's nothing in the fall 2025 spot for Marvel, Ironheart definitely should have been moved there. I'm assuming you're looking at it.
There is. It's Marvel Zombies, which is just kind of like the one. Yeah,
right.
No, I don't.
I was saying more so.
That should have really taken the spot, I think. Yeah,
Right.
especially
They
when
should
they're
have
trying to
switched it.
introduce a brand new hero and stuff like that.
Right, they should have switched it because it's like something like Marvel Zombies or Marvel What If. That's something that like, not that it doesn't have views, it does, but it's not big. Like it's just kind of like the
It's
fans
like a
watch
tail
it.
situation with Star
Right.
Wars.
So you could have easily thrown that in between these two movies and just thrown it out there for to get a week out of some promotion or whatever, and
Right.
switched it. But yeah, when I was saying that, I was meaning like I didn't know if there was another big show. Like I didn't know if there was some bigger show that they already had planned for later this year, which it seems like is not the case. So definitely would have moved
really kinda
Ironheart. Yeah, definitely would have moved Ironheart more towards the holiday kind of thing and promote it as that, even though it's not a holidays themed kind of show like Hawkeye was. I definitely would have still promoted it as a everybody's home for the holidays. Give thanks this season by watching Ironheart on Disney Plus, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, that's that. I'm excited. We'll be watching it. We'll be paying attention. And to move into our last little topic here before our actual topic, the Andor finale. I feel like we could have almost made this an episode in itself, but we'll try and limit it here. So yeah, Theo, we got our last episodes. I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you cook.
I'm gonna be on after watching season 1 and then watching all of this season 2. I think I gotta be honest here. I think this may or the entirety of the show may just go down as the best Star Wars project of all time. It may be recency bias. It may be because I've seen all the fucking movies like 20 times at this point, and I've just gotten a bit bored of them in a sense. And this is something new and fresh. But I mean, like, I think everything that they've done with this show from season 1 to season 2 has just been incredible quality work, writing, acting, everything. And just the grand scale of it all, while also keeping it very like small in a sense to where it's not dealing with like Jedi and stuff like that. It's not dealing with Sith. It's just it's quintessential Star Wars stuff in this sense, and I've purely enjoyed it from cover to cover.
Yeah, this shit's peak. To kind of in a way piggyback off it, I'm not gonna go as far to say it's the greatest Star Wars thing, even though it probably is. I just have other things that are more, higher on my list, obviously. But I will say, Cassian Andor, maybe he's in my top 10 somewhere, bro. That's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and I feel like I even had a tinge of saying that when I originally saw Rogue One. I remember, and you probably even remember when like Rogue One came out. I definitely was saying like Cassian was my favorite character in that movie.
No, I remember you saying that. Because I remember being like almost like the brotherly sort of thing, where I was like, K2 is definitely my favorite character in this movie and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, just peak. I tweeted it out. I said, I want to say here. I said it on X, but I want to say it here. Thank you to everybody that made that show possible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Tony Gilroy, you're incredible. I hope they keep him around in some way to make more Star Wars and let him have his fun too. I don't want him to stick around, but he's kind of roped into what Dave Filoni's doing. Even though we love what Dave Filoni's doing and Jon Favreau, we love that stuff. It's just so different. I don't want Tony Gilroy to have to feel shoehorned into something. Let Tony give him another show and with another character, and let him run for another 2-season show with whoever, Mace Windu or somebody. I don't know, but let him stick around because he is incredible.
He's done
Diego Luna, I gotta thank Diego Luna because he not only helped create the show, but helped create this character that I clearly love and a lot of people clearly love. And I said it on X. That man is a Star Wars legend now. Like, I will put a stamp right on it. Diego Luna is a Star Wars legend for giving us Cassian Andor, because that is just a great character. So yeah, diving into the actual show though,
before we do want to go into the actual show, I do want to kind of also piggyback a little bit off what you said with Andor possibly being in your top 10. I think I'm possibly putting Clea in my top 10, bro. She was fan-fucking
hell yeah. Everybody, dude, everybody.
Everybody was fantastic, bro. But I feel like Clea, I was attached to every single little thing she was doing and her entire journey, especially throughout season 2. I thought it was just incredible stuff.
Yeah,
she did a phenomenal job. In
one of the episodes, we do get the actual backstory of Clea, and we see how her and Luthen came to be. That was definitely an interesting story. It was fun to see. We got our return for the first time in about 20 years. The return of Naboo in live action.
Yes.
Star Wars. That was awesome.
I was watching that scene. I was like, is this fucking Naboo?
I had the same kind of reaction where I was like looking at it. I'm like, this has to be Naboo, right? And then I'm like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just another.
I saw
the
like blue-green roofs in the background.
Right.
I'm like, this is Naboo.
Right.
This is Naboo.
Right. I was like, this has to be Naboo.
Right.
So really cool. And then I did see somebody say, I think maybe Tony Gilroy explained, the reason that was one of, that I think was Luthen's first actual attack on kind of the Empire. Right. And the reasoning was because that's Palpatine's homeworld. And so he wanted to kind of hit Palpatine where it hurts, even though Palpatine probably did not even know this happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I thought that was interesting that's Luthen's mindset. Another great character, Stellan Skarsgård, always a great actor, but goddamn, he fucking between both seasons, man, he delivered his season one
for sure.
Season 1, his monologue to Lonnie in that damn little hallway thing.
Yep.
I burned my life for a sunset I know I'll never see. Peak writing right there, bro. I'm not even a writing guy, but I just know that's peak writing.
You know how this show is so good, bro. You know how it's so good. They made Saw Gerrera fucking incredible as a character in that fucking speech from episode 5 or something like that about like the Rhydonium and with that one kid, bro. Fucking incredible, bro. That I still am thinking about it, and that was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure. The scene where Cassian and Vel kind of meet up in Cassian's house and they kind of have a drink to everybody they've lost along the way. Oh, I'm getting emotional, dude. Yeah, shit.
I was like, they're like the two survivors, man. And they were there from the start.
Right. And they both kind of hate and love Luthen in different ways. Like, it's just so crazy. When they were naming people off, I did get a little emotional. Such a small character, but I love Cinta. I thought she was an awesome character, Yeah. So when she died, I was like, no. I was very sad when she died. So when Cassian kind of says it for Vel, which I thought was even more emotional, that she didn't say it. Cassian said Cinta. They didn't mention Brasso, though. I mean, I know he wasn't part of, like, the rebellion, per se, in a way, but, like, why the fuck would we not mention Brasso, bro? I was like, they finished that scene, and I went from being emotional to being like, what the fuck? Where's Brasso, bro? What the hell? He didn't die for this, man. So I don't know. Maybe somebody could tell us why. Maybe there's something we're missing as to why Brasso didn't get mentioned, or hopefully maybe Tony Gilroy has an answer to that or something. But I definitely was like, that was your best friend, and you just were like, yeah, whatever. So I was like, okay, what the hell? But yeah, that scene was emotional. Trying to think what else. It is kind of funny because in the last episode, they don't. I'm trying. How do I word it? Like, they don't. You don't know who in Rogue One, the guy that he meets up with in the beginning that he ends up killing is such a small character that nobody knows his name. So in the last episode, when they're like getting ready to leave, and he's like, "I gotta go meet with Tivik," in my head, I'm like, "Who the fuck is Tivik, bro?" And I'm like, "What is going on?" I was like so lost. I'm like, "Who the fuck is Tivik? What's going on?" And then I was like, "Let me Google," because I was like, as I started thinking about it, I'm like, maybe that's the guy in the beginning of Rogue One. So I Googled Tivik Star Wars, and his photo popped up. So then I go, okay, now it's making more sense. That's what I was figuring once I thought about it. But I was like, I need to know that it's him. So then it really ramps up once you realize, like, yeah, no, he's literally going to meet this informant about the Death Star. Yeah, I just thought incredible in general. I liked when Cassian finally gets back and he goes to kind of tell, I guess, the Rebellion Council, I don't know, the Rebel Council about the Death Star, and the same characters from Rogue One pop up. Those two characters, and they're both still horrible. Because I remember in the movie, they're the two that are like, no, we can't sacrifice going on this mission. It's ridiculous. And then in this show, they're like,
they just love to
weapon.
sit around and do nothing.
Right.
Let me tell you.
In this show, they're literally like, a super weapon? Yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, sure, bro. Right. And I was like, can you guys just shut the fuck up for a second and let this man speak? But in general, I thought that scene was great. I obviously love Bail Organa. Whether he's Jimmy Schmitz or not, I still love Bail Organa. He was great in that scene where you could easily, for someone that doesn't really understand it, you could come out of that scene being like, Bail Organa's kind of a dick. But he's really not. He was trying to do what was best for the rebellion, what he thought. And there just wasn't enough evidence on Cassian's idea to kind of go, yes, this is happening. But I love Mon Mothma kind of also being a little uneasy there. And then when he requests to go visit Claire or whatever it is, Mon Mothma instantly shoots up. It says, request granted, because you can tell she's kind of, I don't want to say she's pissed off. She's just a little annoyed because she trusts and believes Cassian. I also, speaking on Mon Mothma, I love how much of a, obviously you can tell this character is just a good person, but I love how she goes from like the riches of Chandrilla and having parties, and they have a 3-day wedding where they're celebrating and eating all they want, and they're all dressed in all living this crazy clothes.
Coruscant high society.
Right. High society. And she goes from that to being on a base in Yavin, and the quick scene where they show her and Vel like eating, it shows so much. And again, this may have just passed people by, but it stuck out to me where she could easily be on that rebel base and still not have the luxuries, but still have the luxury of what she had, in the sense where she could have her own area where she's eating by herself. She could have people serving her. Like she could still in a way live that lifestyle of being like higher up, and she's not. She is fully sitting at a damn camping fucking fold out table with the rest of the rebellion, with random rebels eating breakfast. And I love that so much because it genuinely shows you how good of a person this person is. That again, she went from all this lavish stuff and could easily still have, again, not the lavish stuff, but a similar lifestyle living on Yavin, have her own quarter. Even that, she could have her own quarters, but from what it looked like, she's literally, like, she's roommates with Vel. Like, they're sleeping in the same house from what it looked like to me, when she could easily, again, be away from everybody up on a hill with her own tent, and she's not. That stuck out to me as just like, again, how good of a person she is. She doesn't care about that stuff. She's here she's on the same level as everybody else. She may just have a little more intel, you know what I'm saying? Or she just has a better strategy, and that's why she's in the position she's in. So yeah, I just love that too.
They really took this like random little side character that has like 2 scenes in Return of the Jedi and just completely fleshed her out into this incredible character, this incredibly well written character too.
Yes,
they did a phenomenal
very much
job.
so. Yeah, very good stuff. But yeah, all the episodes, I liked them going to get Clea and the whole thing. I liked the little bit of comedy where Melshi left the room and the stormtroopers or whatever were like, freeze, do not move, and he looks and then he fucking darts. I was like, that's awesome. That's great. That whole scene was great where they were kind of trying to hold it down. And again, it's easy. There's plot armor. We know Cassian gets out of it, and we know Melshi also gets out of it because he's in Rogue One. But I was like, this is getting hairy, bro. They're stuck in this room. They have all these, and then K2 just comes through. It literally turns into a horror movie for a second, where he's literally like using another person's body to deflect blaster shots. Like it was incredible, dude. Great stuff all around.
Oh my god, the whole scene of like Krennic interrogating Daedra, bro, was so good. I need more of Krennic in something. I don't know if he gets his own show, if he has like a book or something. I want more of Krennic, bro. He's
you should check out. You should check out. There's this movie called Rogue One on Disney Plus that you should check out. He's
You know,
actually
I
the
might
main
be-
antagonist of that movie.
Dude, that's what I was. That's what I was thinking. That was like the first thought I had when like the last episode ended. I was like I was looking through the credits and everything like that, and I was like, "Is there gonna be an end credit scene?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, there is an end credit scene. It's 2.5 hours long. It's called Rogue One. I could just go
Right.
watch that right now."
Right. Top tier. They said that the finger point or the finger poke on her head was not in the script. That Ben Mendelsohn just did that, which I thought was great. It's a great way to undermine her. You know what I'm saying, and really show her. One of the biggest things at the end, they show that not only is she locked up, not only is she in prison, she's on fucking Narkina 5, man.
She's on
the same
fucking
prison that Cassian escaped from. And I just thought, wow, similar to Cyril's character, where it's like you've literally dedicated your whole adulthood, your whole adult life to this cause that you believe so passionately about. And different to Cyril, where Cyril had a change of heart in a sense and walked away and realized this is horrible. Deidre, on the other hand, dedicated the same thing her whole adult life just for them to throw her away like she was absolutely nothing. For something that really, if I remember correctly, like didn't she kind of get framed? Like, didn't they kind of set her up a little bit?
They didn't really frame her. It's just she kind of got because when Clea kind of killed.
Well, I'm saying
Luthen,
I'm saying when Krennic is interrogating her, the stuff that Krennic was putting on her was not her stuff. He had an assumption of what was going on with like Lonnie and all this stuff about this guy Lonnie and this officer or whatever. But if I remember correctly, what he was saying that he was accusing her of, she did not actually do.
Right.
They were trying to say she was a rebel spy.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, they kind of threw her in jail for something she actually did not do at all when they were accusing her of being a rebel spy.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm like, that makes it even crazier that not only did you dedicate your life to this and they threw you away like trash, they threw you away like trash and didn't even let you try and explain how this is not accurate. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's what's even crazier, is that they really just did not care. Kind of similar to in Ahsoka in the Jedi situation where they were accusing her of that stuff and she did not do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Luckily, Ahsoka was able to kind of get out of that and wasn't arrested or anything. But Deidre's case, got arrested. Something she did not do, and she's going to spend the rest of her days building Death Star parts, I guess, on Narkina 5, hoping that she doesn't get fried on the floors eating paste out of a tube.
Similar thing to Partagas too, because with like his like final scene and everything like that, with him like essentially killing himself in that like boardroom, that was a crazy scene too. Because he probably would have ended up in the exact same situation as her,
Right?
Without everything is pretty much played out, and it's all under like his supervision and whatnot.
Right. There. I will say, this is probably more just the fan in me. When he was in that room and the other officer comes in and says they're waiting for you downstairs, sir. Again, it would not that it wouldn't have lined up. It would have lined up, but like it was so out there. For a second, I thought we were getting Vader, bro. For a second, I thought that man was getting marched down to a basement, and they were going to be interrogating him or whatever, and he wasn't going to be answering or whatever. And I thought for a second, Darth Vader might be showing up to get the answers he wants.
Right.
Which would have been really cool, and obviously it would have been more fan service than anything, but it would have been awesome to see Vader show up for a second and went up, but it held more emotional weight that he kind of killed himself, as well as the other officer who was kind of his friend knew. I think he knew, you know what I'm saying? Like when he asked for a second. When he asked for a second and he's outside that door and you hear the blast shot and you see the stormtrooper go to walk and he's like, he knew.
He knew for sure.
And in reality, he gave him that second because he probably didn't want his friend to, whatever was going to happen downstairs.
Right.
Whether he was going to get killed or tortured or whatever, he didn't want his friend to deal with that, so he just let his friend do what he had to do.
I am kind of glad that they didn't go with like the. Well, I thought it was going to be more so Palpatine than Vader, but I'm glad they didn't kind of go with either of those routes because now it kind of is able to stand on its own without needing to rely on those two, which it does very well.
Right, I agree with you, but it still would have been cool.
It still would have been cool as well. I'm not going to say it wasn't.
We can't ever say it's not going to be cool if Darth Vader shows up.
Right, it's going to be cool every single time. It's also now cool because they didn't have to do that.
Right, not a single between season 1 and 2, not a single lightsaber shows up.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
It's hard. It's hard to say for Star Wars. So, Because even Book of Boba Fett, there's a lightsaber that shows up. So
Lightsaber in there.
there's
And
two
hey, that
lightsabers actually that show up.
So
Actually, there's three lightsabers that show up. Now that I think about
there's
it.
a good number of lightsabers that show up.
There's a dark saber, there's Luke's saber, and Yoda's saber. But yeah.
Yep.
The last thing though, as Cassian is packing up and he's getting ready to go off on the adventure that we see in Rogue One. The last thing, because we're an hour in, we need to get to our actual topic.
Yeah.
The last thing, the biggest thing to me, I said it last week. I wanted to know where Bix was. I wanted to know that Bix was okay. And I think a lot of people wanted to know that. So yeah, the biggest thing for me that came out of that last episode is we do see in the little kind of epilogue there, we do see that Bix is okay. She did go back for B2, which made me so happy.
B2 has a friend now, and I was so happy for him.
Yep. Throughout this whole show, I have felt so bad for this poor little droid whose name is literally B2 Emo. And I was like, yeah, no, the name fits because he's very emo. But with reason, Cassian kind of treats him like shit. Marva doesn't treat him like shit, but she's not really doing anything. She's just kind of chilling in the house. The poor little droid did get treated like shit. He got left. So to see that Bix went back for him and he has a friend now that he's playing tag with or whatever was really incredible. But yeah, the biggest thing, we see Bix is okay and she has a baby. We now have seen Cassian Andor had a son. Or a daughter, but I'm going to assume it was a son. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing for me. Definite some tears, some water in my eyes when I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I don't know if we'll ever see these characters again. I don't know if we'll ever see Cassian Jr. But that would definitely be interesting. But yeah, very emotional that around the same time that we see that Bix gave birth to Cassian's kid is kind of, within a couple of days of him actually dying.
Right.
Very sad. But like Luthen said, you burn your life for a sunset you'll never see. And Cassian has now not only saved the universe with getting the Death Star plans, he's now given his son that he doesn't even know he has. He's given his son a chance to live a life that he didn't get to live.
Right.
So yeah, perfect cherry on top to it. Incredible show. Thank you, Diego Luna, Star Wars legend, like I said, for sure. Tony Gilroy, incredible. Keep him around. And the rest of the cast and crew of Season 1 and Season 2 of Andor definitely deserves their flowers. I think Diego Luna should get a damn Emmy, bro. Give this man a damn Emmy at this point. Give Stellan Skarsgård an Emmy.
Give all of them an Emmy. Everyone.
Yes.
The whole show. The entire cast.
Just overall, just so incredible. So thank you to the cast and crew of Andor for giving us what is probably the greatest Star Wars show, if not just greatest Star Wars content we have accessible to us right now. So, as we are an hour in, we're just going to end the podcast now.
This always happens.
Oh, man. It does, but I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just us being very passionate about the things we love. So, quickly, before we jump into our topic, Song of the Week. Theo, what you got for Song of the Week?
Fuck. You go.
This is the third week that you have done this, my boy. And it's in the notes. It's not like it's not there. It is in the notes. It says Song of the Week. Oh,
I don't read these notes until we're sitting down for the pod.
Man, you should read them at some point before we sit down to read the pod. Or do the pod.
You go first.
All right. My song of the week. My song of the week is going to be Low Life by The Weeknd featuring Future. This is a song I love. I've listened to it for a while. I'm a huge fan of The Weeknd in general. Love all of his music. So this is just something that really yesterday I started kind of rediscovering a little bit. And listening to. Great song. So yeah, Low Life by The Weeknd featuring Future is my song of the week.
Mine is going to be Portable Radio by Daryl Hall and John Oates. You know better than probably most people that I am a huge Hall & Oates fan. I've been a Hall & Oates fan for years and years now. And recently, I think around the time of my birthday, I just started going through every single one of their albums on Spotify and just started making a giant Hall & Oates playlist, and this song I found from their late 70s stuff is incredible. I have it on my workout playlist. It's very upbeat, very fast, and very enjoyable. I like it a lot. I like all Hall & Oates songs a lot. I think they're incredible.
I don't think I've heard that song. I'm gonna have to listen to it. I am a Hall & Oates fan, but I don't think I've heard the song, so I'll definitely have to listen to it.
There's actually, I'm gonna be honest. I might have to send you this playlist because there are quite a few Hall & Oates bangers that I promise you do not know.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a Hall & Oates fan, but mostly it's probably just I like the songs that I like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's not like The Weeknd where I know like their whole discography, or Ed Sheeran where I know all of his songs. It's more like there's like maybe 5 to 10 songs that I know that I just really love of them. So I'll definitely have to dive more into the discography for sure. Mm-hmm. So, all right, it's time for our topic of the week. This one is a little left field. It's a little different than what we have kind of done. We mainly stick with wrestling, Star Wars, Marvel, a little bit of DC, things like that, some video games. But I figured, you know what? I have a list in our Google Keep that is just all podcast ideas. And so when I'm just thinking of ideas, this is something that I thought of. So we are going to talk about our top 5 Harry Potter characters. Again, left field, not a topic we normally or a franchise that we've really talked about on the podcast. But me and Theo are pretty big Harry Potter fans. I don't want to say we're huge Harry Potter fans, but we do love the franchise. I will say that we've enjoyed the franchise. Theo actually really got me into it. There was a.
I want to explain the story here because I it's very funny on my end because I don't know where it happened. This was like years ago. I don't know where I just got the idea. I was just like, you know what? I want to watch all the Harry Potter movies. I want to watch all 8 of them, and I didn't have any of them. I didn't have a way to watch them or anything like that because I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're on Peacock. I don't know if Peacock was a thing at that point yet.
Right.
So I was trying to find out how to watch it, and I was talking to you about it, and you were like, yeah, I actually have like the whole like 8-disc set. I've just never really watched them or anything like that. And I was like, can I take it for a little while and watch them? And you were like, I'll give you the weekend to watch them. You only get 2 days to watch all 8 of these movies. I don't know why the fuck you were being a dick about it, but
I don't know.
You were. And I was like, you know what? I'll take the challenge. And so there was just one weekend like years ago where I sat down. I think I told my parents about this. I was like, I'm going to be in my room all weekend watching these movies. That's just what's going to be happening here. I'll come out for dinner, and that's probably about it. Right. And so that whole weekend, I binged watched the entirety of like all 8 Harry Potter movies, and I gave it back to you like the following Monday or something like that. I was like, "Yeah, you got to get into this, man. You got to get into this. There's some good shit in here."
Right, and I took that advice, and it went in one ear and right out the other one. I did not listen to you at all. So, okay, my backstory with Harry Potter is, as a kid, me and Grace watched the first 2. We watched Philosopher's Stone or whatever, and then we've watched Chamber of Secrets. We never watched a single Harry Potter movie after that. We only saw the first 2. We had the first 2 on DVD. We would watch them every once in a while, but for some reason we just never watched any of the other ones. I don't know. So it wasn't a super big part of our childhood. We just would watch those 2 movies every once in a while. I don't know how or why, but for some reason, I think maybe I wanted to watch them at some point. This is before you. I was like, I should watch them, but I didn't have a way to watch them. And I think my mom made a post on Facebook saying, like, does anybody know where you could watch the Harry Potter movies? Kyle wants to watch them or something like that. And this dude, Mark, who is a family friend and a very nice guy, just randomly was like, oh, yeah, I have a whole extra set of them on Blu-ray. I'll just give it to you. He's like, I have an extra set. I'll just give it to you. So this man, Mark, shout out to Mark, just donated this to our family, just the whole Blu-ray set of all the movies. And I never watched them. It's horrible. They sat in our, like, you know what it is, where we have all of our DVDs, that little drawer thing. It just sat in there for years until you wanted to watch them. And I was like, yeah, I have them all on Blu-ray, bro. Here you go. And so, yeah, then you were like, yeah, watch them. They're great. I didn't watch them. We went to Universal with my friend Lexi Gomez. Shout out Lexi Gomez. Yep. Went to Universal with her, and she was hanging out with her friend Richard for a little bit. We just hadn't met up, I don't think. So you and I were kind of doing our own thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we were in Hogsmeade, just going around, and this was right after you watched the movies. Like, this is probably a week or 2, month maybe, after you watched those movies. So you were this is the height of Theo's Harry Potter love. So you were there. You were freaking out. You bought a $70 wand, and I was like, holy shit, this kid really loves Harry Potter.
It was 50.
Oh, okay, 50. Still a lot for a piece of wood. So I was like, holy shit, this kid really loves Harry Potter. This must be great if he just bought a $50 wand. And yeah, I took photos of you in front of the castle, all that stuff. This was like peak Theo's love for Harry Potter. That night, we got back from Universal, and I literally, that night, I think we got home at like 11 o'clock at night, and I watched the first movie that night and fell asleep at like 2 in the morning after watching it. And then the next day, I just went in and watched the rest of them. And I was like, yeah, this is really good stuff. Why the hell have I not watched anything other than the first two? So that's our Harry Potter story of how we kind of both got into it, kind of around the same time.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna break down our top 5 characters by just this again. We're not saying these are the best characters. These are just our personal preference, our top 5. I have actual 5 honorable mentions. I don't know if you have any honorable mentions or not.
I have a good few honorable mentions.
All right, I will read mine off just real quick. Okay. I'm gonna go with Hedwig, the owl.
Yep.
Newt Scamander. I wanted to include something from Fantastic Beasts, although I know you're not a huge Fantastic Beasts fan, and most people aren't. I, for the most part, kind of enjoyed those movies. They're iffy for me, but it is still a thing. It is still kind of canon, so I did want to include it. And I thought Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander was a really good character. He was really cool. So Newt Scamander, Draco Malfoy. That's a great character. Kind of the childhood antagonist of the whole. Like, he's the child antagonist of the whole franchise. Hagrid, great character, looks out for the kids, takes care of the kids. And my last honorable mention, who really should be in the top 5, is Dobby. I fucking love Dobby. I think Dobby may actually be Grace's favorite character. He is good.
He's a very good character. That's a very fair number 1.
I don't know if anything in that whole franchise emotionally hit me more than Dobby's death. I cried when Dobby died.
That shit was terrible, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I literally cried when Dobby died. So that's my honorable mention. Hedwig, Newt Scamander, Draco Malfoy, Hagrid, and Dobby. Those are my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions are going to be Remus Lupin, Dobby, obviously.
Of course.
This may give me some flack here. I have both Hermione and Ron in my honorable mention.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bellatrix Lestrange, Fred and George, obviously. They got to be in there.
Yep.
Hagrid, obviously. Luna Lovegood. And then, obviously, Big Mama, Molly Weasley. Or
there
Weasley.
Not my daughter, you bitch.
Dude, goated. Absolutely goated line.
I would have thought Luna Lovegood was actually going to be in your top 5.
I was playing around with. There were a few names in my honorable mentions I was playing around with, but I feel like I've got a pretty solid, well-constructed top 5.
Yeah, I got you. Bellatrix, I would also add to my honorable mentions. That's a great character, for sure.
Dude, that one fucking line where she comes in Order of the Phoenix and she's like, "Itsy bitsy baby, bah."
Yes, bro.
I'm like, this is great, bro.
Such a great actress. Whether she's in Sweeney Todd or Harry Potter, so good, so good. All right,
she's great in anything.
Do you want to start with your 5, or you want me to start?
I will start with my 5. Okay. My 5 is going to be the baddest bitch in the entire Harry Potter universe. Minerva McGonagall, baby. Professor McGonagall. Name another woman that stands on this much business, bro. She don't fuck around with no silly shit, bro. She is the pinnacle fucking badass of this entire fucking universe. I don't care what other people think. She is the fucking goat of professors at this fucking school, bro.
Hell yeah.
And not only is she just a badass that stands on business, she's also very like kind, caring, motherly, wise, and shit like that. She's the whole fucking package in everything you would want with a fucking magic teacher. Incredible.
Hell yeah. My number 5. I might get some flack for this one. My number 5 is the chosen one himself, Mr. Harry Potter.
Oh, shit.
That's my number 5. Great character. I put him at 5 because I do love the character, and obviously the whole thing is centered around him. But he's probably lower on my list because I just don't have like a personal attachment as much as I do with other characters. But I put him in there because I do love the character, and obviously the weight that he holds means a lot. So that's my number 5 is Mr. Harry Potter himself.
There you go. My number 4 is going to be Draco Malfoy. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if they can see it, but back there on my bed, there is a giant dragon squishmallow. His name is Draco
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, shit. Possible technical difficulties? I don't know what's going on. Both the dogs are looking over there. Something's going on.
We're fucking talking about Harry Potter. I don't have my Ravenclaw hat on. Sorry.
Jesus.
Forgot about it.
I was like, did one of the dogs escape? And I'm like, no, they're both sitting there. Something's happening.
No. I just, as you said that, and you said, oh yeah, back here, I slightly looked over and saw I have a Slytherin hat and a Ravenclaw hat, and I was like, why am I not wearing this shit? So, sorry. Continue what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Yes, I have my dragon over there whose name is Draco Malfoy, named after the character. And he is definitely one of my favorite characters for sure. I think his whole rivalry with Harry Potter going throughout the years and stuff like that. Their fucking like duel in the bathroom in like I think it was like Half-Blood Prince or some shit like that, where Harry Potter like really, like where he almost dies by like using one of the curses and whatnot. I was like, this is insane. His especially in the later years of like Draco's like character and whatnot, it just is so like the stuff this kid goes through and where he's so like dependent in the eyes of like Voldemort and stuff like that, and how his plan revolves around Draco so much, and how that is impacting him and his character and stuff like that. Because realistically, he doesn't want to be doing this kind of stuff, but he's being forced to and all that, and his like family's attached to it and stuff like that. So they're obviously a risk, and he doesn't want anything to happen to them. And just his whole story going throughout the years is just so like dark, and it's so impactful on him, and it's just like you almost like feel bad for him with everything that he has to go through and stuff like that, to where when it's that like last scene in the last movie and where like he and Potter are like looking at each other as their kids are boarding the train and stuff like that, and they're like smiling at each other, it's like, okay, he's definitely in a much better place right now, and I'm very happy for him to finally get like some sort of peace after all the shit that happens to him in his later years at Hogwarts and whatnot. But very well written character, very well written rival. Tragic story. Love the guy.
Doesn't he also help Harry at the end?
Kind of. It's not that he much so like helps him. It's just that like he's like Voldemort is offering like Draco the like final chance to like help him and stuff like that, and he kind of just like walks away with his family because he's just like he's at this point he's just like done. He doesn't want any more part of this. He doesn't want this like turmoil to just keep building up and up and up and whatnot.
Right. All right. My number 4. Is Jack's number 5 or Theo's number 5? Minerva McGonagall.
She's standing on business.
Standing on business. Baddest bitch in Hogwarts. Top tier character. I love her so much. I have a Funko Pop of her in my closet. Yeah, so good. So good. Oh no, I don't. I don't have the Funko Pop anymore. I gave it to you. That was one of your birthday gifts. I forgot. Sorry. I forgot. That's what happens when you're balling on a budget. Sometimes you gotta figure something out.
Right.
Yeah, no, top tier character. I love her. You basically said everything that needs to be said. Baddest bitch of Hogwarts. But I will say, to add to it, one of my favorite scenes, and I have it saved on my TikTok, I go and watch it all the time, is when they're getting ready for battle in the end. And she is leading the charge. She is the professor that is front and center. And she that speech she gives, do your duty to the school, protect the school. Hogwarts is under attack. Do your duty to your school, and like that, I got goosebumps right now just saying to myself, like that whole speech makes me so emotional. That she just cares about these students so much, as well as her standoff with Snape there for a second too.
Oh my god, the standoff!
So good.
I was about to say it, bro. The standoff with Snape is so good.
So good, but also at the end when she gives that speech and the one professor says whatever he says, and she's like, his name is Voldemort. He's going to try and kill you either way, so you might as well just use his name. So good, dude. So good. That's my favorite McGonagall scene, is that whole, her leading the charge to get ready, giving her speech about protecting the school and protecting each other. So good. So yeah, Minerva McGonagall is my number 4.
My number 3... My number 3 is going to be Sirius Black.
Ooh.
Let me tell you
why don't I have him anywhere? Oh my god.
You don't have him anywhere?
No, that's another honorable mention.
That's insane, bro. He's so
awesome. I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, I would bump Harry out and put Sirius Black at number 5. He somehow just slipped my mind.
That's good. That's good to me.
And Harry could be an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I don't know how he slipped my mind. He just slipped my mind.
That's insane to me. He's
incredible
such a
character.
good character.
Yeah, he is.
His story in fucking Prisoner of Azkaban is so incredible. His like almost like a father figure to Harry in like Order of the Phoenix, and where he's trying like get him to join like the secret order or whatnot to go up against Voldemort and stuff like that, and just he's just his death scene, bro, is so
Yeah.
crazy. How his own like it's like cousin. I'm pretty sure like Bellatrix Lestrange is like his cousin or something like that, and she's the one to kill him and stuff like that. And
And she's
he's
like
definitely
laughing
got
while
one
she
of the
does
more
it.
emotional deaths for sure.
Yeah.
Just such
For
a
sure.
good character, bro.
One
Like,
of my
I mean, not Order of the Phoenix. Prisoner of Azkaban is like my favorite movie, and he's like a central figure in that
Yeah.
whole movie. And just him with like the Marauders and his like relationship with like Snape and Harry's dad and stuff like that. And like even like throughout everything that's like being said about him, Harry is still like trying to be like a good guy with him and trying to get him like back into like being in the scene of like the good guys and being on a good path and stuff like that. It's all just so well done. I love his character so much.
It is one of the. I can't believe he totally slipped my mind. One of my favorite scenes that I also go back and watch is the scene in the cabin with him and Lupin and the kids. And pardon headphone users beware. I did my waiting, 10 years of it. Let's kill him now. Is so good, bro. So good. So good.
I love the line he says to Snape like a few minutes after that when Snape gets into the cabin and stuff like that. He's like, "Why don't you go run off and play with your chemistry set?"
Also, to add to that, I love how Snape enters that room because he enters the room
Yeah.
in the most diva way. He's like,
Dude, he's such a diva, bro.
he's
good.
like
I love
so good, bro. So good. Oh man. So yeah, I also
that scene
love
is so
Sirius
good.
Black.
That's a goated scene for sure.
Yeah, I also love Sirius Black. So I would bump him to 5 and put Harry in honorable mentions because that is a top tier character. But my number 3, it's also funny because my number 3, like, people would be like, if anybody's listening, they're going to be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Sirius Black, he totally forgot about, but he loves this character. I ain't going to say he's a glove shitter because he does hold a lot of weight to the story. But my number 3 is Mr. Cedric Diggory. Theo knows this. I love Cedric Diggory. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot he's only in the one movie, and he doesn't have a lot. But I think part of it is I just love Robert Pattinson so much as an actor, so that's probably part of why. But I will say I do, just in general, I do love the character because he could easily just be an asshole during this whole thing to Harry. He could, like most people are, like, you know what I'm saying, most people are kind of just an asshole to Harry. He could easily also be an asshole to Harry, but throughout the movie, he really isn't. He, you know, at times he might be a little cocky or whatever, but in general, he genuinely is kind to Harry and tries to kind of help him out in certain, you know, when they go through these different kind of games and whatnot. There's different times where he kind of helps him out and stuff like that, including, you know, his biggest moment at the end or in the last game where, you know, Harry stops to save him and Cedric gets in front of him and he chooses to let Harry take the cup because of the fact that if he didn't save him, not only would he have died, but Harry would have won either way. And again, Draco, who I love, Draco in that situation would have pushed Harry down and took the cup and left, you know? Yeah. So the fact that, and probably anybody else would have done the same thing. So the fact that Cedric had that much respect and kind of honor within himself to let Harry take the cup and whatnot, I just love. And also what I love about the character is how much emotional weight he brings to the story. Most people, and I'll agree, would say that his death is really the mark of the end of the kiddie shit and the beginning of the real story. The first 3 movies are very childish, very fun, very cute adventure. There are little kids running around to school and whatnot. The moment Cedric dies is when it goes from children's movies to legitimate, like, dark drama movies. And so he holds a lot of weight to the actual story because his death is what, you know, is the return of Voldemort and brings, like I said, the whole transfer from cute kids movies to legitimate, like, dark and intense storytelling. So Cedric Diggory is my number 3.
Right, that's a very, very good character. He would have been an honorable mention. I just feel like it's just he's just in the one movie. I would have loved more of him, if anything. I think he is a very good character, but there just needs to be more of him. One movie ain't enough. I
also love I don't know if you've ever seen it, the behind the scenes clip of him clearly flirting with Emma Watson.
Yes.
When he's what's your name? I don't know you. What's your name? And she's just blushing, bro.
Right.
Just blushing. I was like, that's my guy, Arpats, man. Love it.
My number 2 is going to be my original number 1, Neville Longbottom, baby.
Ooh.
Talk about zero. Talk about a zero to hero of a story, man. This guy, when he first came into that school, he was just kind of like the the shy kid who kind of like messed up and he was like clumsy and stuff like that. And at the very end, bro, he's just turned into this fucking Chad of a hero that's decapitating 20-foot long pythons with fucking swords.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so. When that scene happened, I shot out of my bed and just started cheering, bro. I was like, yes! It's like I put my chips in that boy and I got my fucking payment out of it, bro. That
Hell
shit
yeah.
was amazing. An incredible payoff for him. He also glows the fuck up more than I think anybody else in that entire fucking franchise.
Right.
That man is so fucking attractive in the last movie. I'm not afraid to say it, but I just love the journey this kid was on, man, because he just kind of gets like better and better and more confident in himself and everything like that. It's just a great journey.
Hell yeah. Not necessarily a character that I care too much about, but I respect it, and I know that you do love the character. My number 2, Crab and Boyle. No.
I was like, wait, who?
My number 2, Dudley. No, my number 2 is Miss Hermione Granger. Top tier character. If you look at the core 3, the Trinity, Harry is obviously, the soul of that group. He's the main character, the leader. Ron is clearly the heart of their group. Hermione is the brains, man. She is the one that is not only strategically keeping them all together, but emotionally is keeping them all together. Like, she legitimately takes care of these boys. If Hermione does not exist within this friend group, they're both dead at some point.
Yeah.
They are both cooked, bro. Or they're in trouble or something. So I just love her so much. I love Emma Watson in general. She's great. But just the character from the jump, the moment you're introduced to her and she, without asking, fixes Harry's glasses for him with a spell that Harry doesn't know and whatnot. Like, from the jump, they made it clear that she is the smartest out of the 3, and probably one of the smartest students just in general at Hogwarts during the time.
She is, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I just love Hermione. I think Hermione is also one of Grace's favorite characters. Like, Dobby and Hermione are probably her top 2. And I would say, yeah, I just love Hermione. She's a great character, fan favorite for sure. I mean, out of like everybody loves those 3. So yeah, I just love Hermione. So that's my number 2. She's a great character.
Yeah, she's definitely my favorite of the trio for sure. I feel like
We
I
have
don't
the same
know.
number 1.
I feel like we have the same number 1. If
We
it's
do.
in the thumbnail, then it's definitely the same number 1.
We do.
Yeah, okay. It's Severus Snape.
Severus Snape, motherfuckers!
Just how I love Maul for being one of the best written characters in fiction, I also love Severus Snape for also being one of the best written characters in fiction.
Yes.
This man is the GOAT. This man is so integral to the plot, and from like the beginning to end, you always know he's on some like treachery shit, but at the very end where it's like all for like a purpose and whatnot, as if he knows what's coming. It's just everything about it is so incredibly done. And I also want to mention, he is a very much so a diva. We did talk about this a few minutes ago. He is such a diva and so
Right.
fucking funny. I don't know if you remember the specific scene where it's like in Goblet of Fire, and Ron and Harry are at the table talking about getting dates and stuff like that, and Snape just tries to keep continuing to get them into work, and he walks back around for like a third time, and he's walking behind them, and he like does like a little eye roll, and then he just like lowers his sleeves to get his hands ready to get them back into their books, bro.
So good.
So good. He's such an incredible character.
So good, bro. The Half-Blood Prince himself. The chemistry conundrum, bro. So good. The double agent or the triple agent, if you really want to be real. Yeah. No, I mean, you said it. He's the best character. One of the best written characters in any of fiction, and probably the best written character, yeah, in Harry Potter in itself.
Right.
Just top tier. I was saying, I go back and watch the McGonagall scenes and whatnot. There are no scenes that I watch on my TikTok from Harry Potter more than Severus Snape scenes. Whether
Right.
it is the standoff with McGonagall, because I love when he disappears or whatever, or before he disappears, when he's standing there and Harry jumps out of line and says, "How dare you stand where he stood?" That's such an emotional moment. I get goosebumps. I watched the scene of him killing, obviously, Dumbledore. That's very emotional. I don't know what other. It sounds so stupid. I watched the scene to feel something of him killing Dumbledore. But yeah, the same scene. Him and Harry having a standoff, and he reveals that he is the Half Blood Prince. Top tier. But there is probably nothing. Also his death scene. I watch a lot. I cry every time.
Yeah.
And he tells Harry to save his tears. But there is no scene I watch on TikTok out of this franchise more than the scene between him and Dumbledore in Dumbledore's office, where he casts the Patronus for Harry, and it's revealed that Snape has been protecting Harry this whole time, and you see why, because he was so in love with Lily Potter. Yeah, I get emotional every time I watch that scene. It's saved again in my saved on TikTok because I just love it so much. It's so good, such great writing, such emotional stuff. So yeah, Snape is both our number one because he just is that guy.
He is the best character. And
Alan
any
Rickman.
scene he's in, he takes over the scene.
Yes. Alan Rickman, incredible actor, incredible character. So thank you to Alan Rickman. May he rest in peace for giving us this incredible character that we both obviously love. I know Grace likes Snape as well. For those who don't know, I keep bringing up my sister, but she's also a really big Harry Potter fan. So I feel like it's appropriate to bring her up because she really enjoys these movies as well. But yeah, Snape, back on topic. So good. Just a top tier character, one of the best written characters ever. I love the like I said, kind of a triple agent where he's on the good side but working for the bad side, but he's really on the good side. He's really like a triple fucking agent here. So that was just incredible stuff. So yeah, we want to run through our list real quick. Again, I got honorable mentions. This is my official list now. Honorable mention: Harry Potter, Dobby, Hagrid, Draco, Newt, and Hedwig. My number 5 is Sirius Black. My number 4, Professor McGonagall. My number 3, Cedric Diggory. My number 2, Hermione Granger. And my number 1, Severus Snape.
Honorable mentions: I've got Lupin, Dobby, Hermione, Ron, Bellatrix, Fred and George, Hagrid, Luna Lovegood, Molly Weasley. At my 5, I've got McGonagall. 4 is Draco Malfoy. 3 is Sirius Black. 2, Neville Longbottom. 1, Severus Snape.
Hell yeah. So that is our episode. It seems like we got a recurring trend here where our episodes run about an hour and a half. So maybe that's just the way we roll.
That's good. That's a good. That's
And
a good
we
timeline.
we aren't timing it out. It just so happens to end at around an hour and 25 to an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, in general though, thank you all for watching or listening. If you like the Harry Potter discussion here, let us know and we'll find a way to continue to bring in more Harry Potter topics. Sorry. Maybe we'll do our most hated characters. Our number 1 both will be Dolores Umbridge.
My
Fuck
1
that
through
bitch.
5 will just be Dolores Umbridge. She takes
And
all
my
5
honorable
stars.
mentions. My honorable mentions also will be Dolores Umbridge. Yeah. I will say though, there is a character in the last he's in a couple, but his main role is in the last Fantastic Beasts movie that's played by Ezra Miller. I forgot the name of the character. That motherfucker may also be, I think his name is Constance or something like that. That motherfucker may also be on my hated list because it's actually a great character, but he's just so stupid, man. He just does not understand. But that's a topic for another day. If you enjoyed, give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, a follow. We appreciate it. Check out the WNRN, our awesome podcast hosts. We got some cool things we're working on. I've talked to Jesse. We do have a pro wrestling tees, but I'm not gonna lie. I got this shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees, and I have our WrestleMania 41 inspired shirt from Printify. So I have 2 different ones from 2 different sites. I like the Printify ones a lot more. The quality is better. The actual printing is better. So I think we are not going to necessarily close down the Pro Wrestling Tees, but we're going to just more focus on the Printify and getting more of our designs up. So Jesse should be working on this week. So if you want any merch, I would suggest checking out the Printify. This is all the Pro Wrestling Tees, but it should be on the Printify as well as basically all of our stuff. My Kyle Bridger logo should be on there. Our Shadow Ranger design should be up there. And we should have some sort of design coming from Mr. Theo as well that I was going to surprise you with, but I won't tell you what it is because I don't know exactly what it is, but I will tell you that there might be a Theo Bebop t-shirt design or just a logo in general for you to have a logo. That
Theo merch on the way.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate you. Give us a follow. Check out WNRN. You can follow us. Our social media tags are on the screen at OTS Bridger, at OTS Bebop. So you can follow us there. And yeah, we will see you in the next episode.
Turn to page 394.